When I was about 10 years old, I browsed the web looking for cool Pokémon, which led to me stumbling upon people making these crazy cool fusion sprites. I knew in that moment that this idea was special and had a ton of potential, and I always wanted a game that incorporated these into the gameplay. So I, and seemingly a lot of other people, forgot about this for quite some time. I mean, seriously, the idea is way too ambitious anyway. Who would make 200,000 plus custom Pokémon sprites? Well, do I have good news, not just for you, buddy, but also for past Malarak. With the help of a huge community of sprite artists, a fantastic team created the fan game called Pokémon Infinite Fusion, a game where you can take any two Pokémon and slap them together to create anything from the cool, the dreadful, and the meme-worthy. This includes all of Generation 1 while using modern gaming mechanics, and we also get a whole ton of Pokémon from later generations as well if we choose to use modern or randomized mode. I will get into that in a second. And since I am a masochist, I decided to do a hardcore Nuzlocke challenge run of this. Since this is a fusion-based game though, the rules are a bit different from the normal ones. We can only catch the first non-fused Pokémon on each route, and we have to fuse the first two that we get together. The rest is your everyday masochism crying simulator, so no items in battle, set mode, level caps, the whole 9 yards. On top of all of that, the game is randomized, so expect a whole lot of crazy mons appearing, both for our team and the enemies. Can I complete a run with such a harsh rule set knowing that this game is a good bit harder than the originals? Or will I fail repeatedly until I give up? Will I be able to use all the mechanics that are at my disposal properly, or will I fail at even basic things like options in the settings menu? This last point seems random, I get that, but we'll get into an actual first try really quickly. Let me take you on a little journey through the nightmare that is my small pea brain trying to understand a very basic game feature first though. Infinite Fusion has a ton of options, one of which is the 3 different difficulty modes, which change the level of enemy Pokémon: easy, normal, and hard. This is neat since that'll allow me to maybe use a few late game Pokémon like the pseudo-legendaries Metagross, Dragonite, and so on. Furthermore, I believe the difficulties also change stuff like move pools, AI, item usage, and the like. As the name suggests, hard mode makes the game harder, easy mode makes the game easier, and being the stubborn and arrogant fool I was, I wanted to play on hard mode. I also did mention that I want to play this randomized, which is yet another category of mode. There are 3 here as well: classic, modern, and randomized. Okay, so if I play on a specific combination such as hard mode randomized, what are my level caps? This was my initial fear because I just didn't know, but it was unfounded, I thought. Infinite Fusion has an in-game option that enforces level caps automatically, which seems incredibly useful, and at first I thought these would adjust to whatever mode and difficulty you play. Oh, young Malarak, so naive. So foolish. It took a lot of tries of trying modern and hard mode and normal mode and randomized mode in different combinations to find out that at the end of the day I just couldn't figure out what the hell I was doing here. Why did these caps keep changing? Why didn't they change? Why did they work? Why did they suddenly not work? Why were they different every single time? It seemed entirely random and never aligned with the list that I got off of the Discord. So what should I do? Is all of this too much? Did I bite off more than I can chew? Alright, let me quickly explain you how this works and then we get into the run. The level cap feature works for 2 modes exclusively: normal difficulty classic mode and normal difficulty randomized mode. These align properly, so if you're fighting Brock, you always get the desired level caps that you want. This is because the only caps that are implemented properly as of now are for normal difficulty classic, and the randomizer only changes the Pokémon itself, not the level. So, when you see an attempt number at the top right, feel free to add like 10 to that, all of which died whenever I either realized the caps were wrong, or just by getting my face pummeled in by some random legendary fusion early on. And so, we can finally begin our journey. Our first few attempts either died crazy early, or they died because the level cap didn't work out as I said before. So once I figured all of that out, I started counting attempts again. So, let's get into attempt number 4, post figuring out how these work. Our starter choice was made fairly simple, you would think. We got a Magnemite, Oricorio, or a Riolu. Most people would probably pick up the Riolu for a Lucario or a Magnemite, but you know what? I went for the Oricorio, named it Strawberry, and went on my merry way. Well, I wish I could have just gone on my merry way, but the rival fuses both of the other Pokémon together and fights you, and now he has an electric type against my flying type. Yeah, you can imagine how this goes. It doesn't go well, but it is fine. We will get our revenge soon once we get Pokeballs. To get our hands onto some Pokeballs, we first need to grab Oak's parcel and bring it back to him. He usually gives us Pokeballs as a reward. Sadly, they were randomized into root fossils. Wow, gee, thanks Oak, that's really helpful. But it's a good thing to point out because all items are randomized as well. Yay, except for like story important ones, of course. We then go outside and go onward to Viridian City so that we can actually buy some balls. We also get a free Pokemon from this guy on the left, who usually gives you a... it's a Licky Licky. These are randomized as well. Okay, sure. We can then use DNA splicers, which are used for fusing Pokemon.
I do like the fire type.
Yeah, let's see what it turns into. What am I looking at? This is a monstrosity. I'm so sorry, Oricorio. After recovering from that shock, we can capture 2 more Pokemon before we get into Viridian Forest. Oh, a Diglett, cool, and it's dead. I mean, we can capture 2 other Pokemon from Route 22 and the one in front of Viridian Forest, so we grab ourselves a Ninjask. Ooh, that's really cool. Speed Boost is a fantastic ability. Let's call you Lemon, sure. Sadly, we now need to head back, and for that we need to fight this trainer, and he has a Lantera. Oh my god, that thing is scary. Okay, we use a Supersonic here, it Thunder Waves us, which is really annoying, and I just try and spam Pound at this point to get some damage in, and we're super lucky. We get so many confusions here, and it doesn't know any Electric-type moves, it seems like. Oh, thank god. Okay, other encounter. We get a Trapinch? Oh, that's huge! We can now just fuse that with our Ninjask and get a really cool Pokemon. Oh yeah, I like this start. Also, all the base Pokemon are also customized with custom sprites, and they all look fantastic. Let's call you Orange. It's time to now fuse these 2, and Ground Flying? Seriously? Oh, that's broken. Yeah, let's go. Bug-type moves for sure, and we can use those for coverage, but like... it has a little helmet on. That's great. It has multiple. Oh, I like this one. Oh, I really like this one. That looks dope. The Randomizer has blessed me with legendaries at this point before, but you know what? These 2 look really promising. I think this run can go somewhere. And you know who else can go somewhere? This Alakazam. It knows Teleport. We're not catching it. Yeah, that's a bummer. We then fight some more Bug-type trainers, except that they don't have Bug-types, they have all sorts of types. It's randomized, and these sprites all look really cool. We make our way to Pewter City, heal our Pokemon, and go on to fight Brock. This introduces us to gym leaders actually asking us to match the number of Pokemon that they're using, which is pretty neat, but also doesn't matter. It's a 2v2. He sends out Trap Champ, which, well, that's kind of a mirror match now. But we know Bulldoze. Does it know Bulldoze? Doesn't matter. We're a flying type, so it goes for Bide. We get its speed down, our speed goes up. It doesn't have speed boost, that's fantastic. He then sends out Hitmonchan. Sure, it's a dragon fighting type, I guess? Sure, let's just go for Bulldoze. Wow, that does half. It goes for Meditate. We're now faster. We go for another Bulldoze, and we win. Okay, fantastic. That first gym was really easy. We get a badge. Let's go. East of Pewter City, we encounter a little spot of grass, which actually has an Altaria in it with Cloud 9? Oh, that's great. You're a Blackberry, yeah. Welcome to the team. But first for a little bit of story. Team Rocket attacked this youngster's Geodude, and Brock actually helps out. Neat little touch. We then go inside and check out what the commotion is about, but first we catch ourselves another Pokemon. In this case, a Metang. Hell yeah, that would be fantastic, except it kills itself with Takedown. Ugh, okay, that's 2 down already. No, wait, it's 3 down. Oh hey, Minecraft Dog. Infinite Fusion's version of Mount Moon has an additional cave part over here, which actually has different encounters, so I consider it fair to catch something in here. So we grab ourselves a Stunfisk. Alright, Altaria, you'll become an electric dragon. Let's do this. It's awful, it's terrible, I hate everything about this. But this is what we're rolling with. Okay, that might have been slightly over-exaggerated, but seriously, it's a little bean with clouds and an oversized, very under-resoluted beak. The automatic generation of sprites doesn't look fantastic most of the time, but sometimes it creates real monstrosities. Sometimes it also creates something pretty neat. After beating up some more grunts, we encounter a whole group of them who are doing something with 1, 2, 3 Pokemon. This is probably not important. Do not remember this for later, this is not foreshadowing at all. We then grab the Dome Fossil, which turns out to be an Adamant Orb, yeah, these are also randomized, and we grab ourselves a new encounter, and that is an Execute. This is nice because I get to be creative and name it, Omelette, sure. And you know what else I am very creatively good at outside of naming things? Segways! If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, it really helps out. Thanks. And while I was yapping about all that, we got ourselves into another rival fight, and he has a Delm King. That thing looks imposing as hell. I'm just glad that it doesn't know any crazy strong normal type moves, because man, that would really suck. We then get into the Rioton, and I swap over to Blackberry, which I hope can just take it down with some rock smashing. And well, guess what? This thing isn't steel type, so that doesn't do anything. I then try Disarming Voice. Oh, it's a fighting type. Okay, yeah, that works. Okay, cool. And then he sends out a Salamine. Wow, that's insane. What? That thing looks awesome. I send out Orange, hoping and praying that it's not a flying type, and it isn't, so Bulldoze takes it out succinctly. Oh no, he has something else, and it's... Oh yeah, okay, that doesn't matter. And since we're on a roll right now, I just immediately went on to fight Misty before doing Nugget Bridge. We have a fighting type gym here. Yeah, she's usually a water type, but she was randomized into a fighting type. Blackberry can just use a Flip Flux and... oh, is she swapped? Oh wait, does this thing have ice type moves? Ugh, yeah, it does, of course, it's a Seal. It's a Seal Riolu. We use a few more Plucks and the ice type attacks really do take up some damage, but Blackberry manages to take it out. We then swap over to Orange, who sadly doesn't really know any flying type moves, but we do have Bulldoze, which does a lot of damage. We get the speed hacks, and we win! Okay, Misty is down, we get another badge! Let's go, 2 out of 8. Very good. After the gym, we get to grab a new encounter, a Fearow. Fusing it with Execute reveals that it's hideous, though your name's now disappointed. And yeah, just look at what happens in its first
Not really,
ever
but
fight.
Spore's fast. Ain't even mad. That thing looked like a D. I don't like it.
After losing the Will of D, we move on toward Vermilion City, which leads us to an Entei? Yo, that would be absolutely insane, except that it's an Entei and we only have Pokeballs. I tried forever to catch this thing. I literally chucked like 20 balls at it, and we only have one more chance. Can we get it? Come on. Nope. Okay, just die then. I don't like using legendaries anyway. After that disappointment, we grab ourselves something that's fantastic. The Old Rod. Yeah, we can finally fish, which gives us a lot more city encounters. And we immediately get an old boot. Okay, yeah, that was kind of a troll, I'll admit. But then we get an actual Pokemon, and that Pokemon is a Sceptile. I'll definitely take a Sceptile. Those yellow things on its back remind me of something. Oh right, it's...
what the fuck?
We now just need something to fuse it with. I move my ass over to Diglett Cave, and I capture us a Scolipede.
And I feel like it'll make for a more interesting fusion because it takes Scolipede's body. So let's see what this turns into. Oh, I'm excited, okay. And... you know what? That actually looks super sick. If that was an original Pokemon, I'd use that on a lot of teams.
With our new bean-based friend in hand, we move on to the SSN, and I forgot the ticket. Ugh, this reminds me of Pokemon Fire Red, where I forgot to grab the bicycle. And I just skipped past all this, but seriously, some of these fusions are awesome. They reference pop media, they reference cool things, or they just look absolutely amazing and are really unique. We then finally get onto Bill's house, and he fused himself with another Pokemon. Wow, how oddly fitting. We get the ticket, and oh, this guy wants to trade us a Pokemon. Okay, we trade a Roselia that we got before, and we get an Otnix. Okay, you know what? That's actually really cool. I think I'm gonna use that on the team. Sure.
Like an actually pretty good staller. Oh no.
Do not let looks deceive you though, because this Otnix, which I will soon call Salad, will be really important. Seriously, I keep using this thing while fighting all of these crazy Pokemon. Seriously, a lot of those were legendary fusions. And then we encounter this old man who is using a Squirtpunny and a Seavor. 2 therapy sessions to forget that later, we throw some TNT at our rival, grab the HM for cut, and head into the gym with the best puzzle ever. Going through trash like the trash panda that I am. Serge, you're a gross man. You need to go down for making me go through all that. Easier said than done though, because this guy runs a ghost-type gym and has a Zapdos fusion. Yeah, okay, I tried to set up some Stealth Rocks in the hopes that those will help me. I go for Spore, and that Flame Burst almost takes out my Onix. I swap over to Strawberry, who can definitely take all those fire attacks. It itself is actually not a fire type, but it does have an ability that prevents me from using fire type moves, so I need to spam flying type moves. Sadly, Strawberry is almost dead here, and I need to make a hard decision. Strawberry needs to die, Onix needs to die, or Beans needs to die. One of them has to go down, and I choose Strawberry. I'm sorry for killing our starter like that, but we really need to do what we have to do. He then sends out Maw Magus, which looks absolutely fantastic, but is also an asshole because that guy just killed our prized starter Pokemon. And I think to myself, okay, is Poison Jab gonna do anything? It's Ghost type, right? Oh, it's actually a Steel type. It swaps out thanks to a red card, and yeah, he goes for a Delmpert, so we can just leave Bladed to death, which is really good, but now our physical defense is lowered, which might be a problem. Then I remember, wait, Miss Magus is a special attacker, and Mawile has terrible stats, which leads to the fantastic idea of just spamming Leaf Blade and winning. Yeah, we get another badge, but man, we lost Strawberry. That sucks, I didn't want to lose him so early. This is no time to mourn though, as we make our way toward the power plant. This gives us 2 more encounter opportunities, one of which is a Sliggoo? Oh my god, that's a pseudo-legendary, right? Yeah, let's go, we actually get to capture it, and we name it Pudding. We then go into the power plant itself. We can actually grab a Pokemon here, and yeah, field Pokemon are not randomized, so I should have known that this is a Voltorb. I didn't randomize the field Pokemon, huh? It's either that or a 1 in like 450 chance. So I want the body. Yes, I want it this way around. That actually looks kind of funny. Slyorb. Let's see if it actually changes. Oh, it's adorable! Look at the Digimon little guy. A bit actually. Yes. Once grabbing yet another Dragon Electric type, we head into Rock Tunnel, where we grab an egg and also yet another new encounter, which is a Corsola. Okay, Corsola is kinda useless, whatever. We then find a lot of really cool fusions once again, and some of them were really tough to take down as well, but mostly this wasn't too big of a problem. This leads us squarely into Lavender City, where we grab the egg, we hatch the egg, and we use this as our Lavender City encounter. I wanted to see if those were randomized as well, and well, it wasn't. It turned into a Noibat, which is kind of a shame, but you know what? To make it more fair, I fused it with my Corsola, and then I remembered something. Oh right, Wonder Trading exists, because yeah, I'm not gonna keep that. That looked weird as hell. Yeah, whenever you defeat a gym, you get tickets, and these tickets can be used to use a Wonder Trade. Wonder Trading is from future games, so it uses the internet. How does this use the internet, Malarak? This is a fan game? Does it actually trade with other people? No, it's randomly generated. But you know what? That's actually pretty fun, because, well, this is a randomizer, let's make it even more random. And we just use all of the tickets until we get to the final one, which is this Shroomloom. We evolve it, and now we have our own Breloom with a funny little twist. Look at this, it's so happy. I love this little guy. You know what isn't as happy? That's right, fighting our rival. This time we don't just explode him, this is actually a fight. I gave it a red card, and I also nicknamed all of my Pokemon, just so you're not wondering. My Odyshes are always called Salad. This brings out Lucaton, which once again gives us the 1v1 from Salad and this thing. Yeah, we always win this, right? Yeah, we actually do. It just takes forever. It went for a lot of sword stances, but that doesn't do anything. It doesn't even know a physical fighting type move. Then comes out the Pidgeon, we swap to Jelly, who can just quickly take care of it with an Electro Ball, which brings us over to Raitei. Oh my god, that thing looks awesome! Look at it! Man, right on Entei, that's sick. We go for 2 Dragon Breaths and it goes down, which brings us to the Stargon, which also gets Electro Balled. Jelly is actually a really good member of the team, I didn't expect that, wow. With our rival squarely defeated, we hear some commotion from the west, and we go check it out. Mr. Fuji is being abducted by some rocket grunts. We can't really go in there though, because no Sylph Scope, so instead we go and teach our Pokemon some new moves with the Move Tutor. If you're ever wondering, wow, how do you get these crazy moves? It's the Move Tutor, he's in every Poke Center. This lady has a fish with arms. Anyway, we go on and capture ourselves a new Pokemon, which is a Muk. I love Muk. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. Muk is kinda cool. It's a poison type. I always loved it in the Pokemon anime. It was so cuddly with Ash. That was always really adorable. We fight some more trainers with some adorable Pokemon as well, and this really cool Geodude with like a billion fists. That's so anime. And a Groudon Venusaur. That's menacing. After all of that, we grab ourselves another encounter, and this will be fused with Muk, and it's Eradicate. You know what, that's not too bad. We can grab Guts, and we can go full physical attacking move, and oh my god, it's so happy, look at it, it's adorable, I love it. Oh no, the fusion looks hideous. Is there a better one? Okay, yeah, there is, thank god. Okay, I could not have lived with that. That looked like it was in a lot of pain. We grab ourselves some more TMs, go shopping for Earth Plates in a vending machine, what? Okay, and Salad evolves. I have no idea what this is gonna look like. I hope it's cool. That looks so cool. Yeah, that's really nice. That's a really cool Pokemon design. I really like that. So we get this awesome team up where I and Erika fight side by side against Team Rocket in a little dungeon that has a water raising and lowering puzzle down in those sewers. I love this part. This is so cool. I love puzzle sections. I love gym leaders actually doing something. 2v2s are really cool. This fan game rules. You know what rules a little less though? Getting to fight legendaries over and over. This guy has a Fararam, Feraligatr Reshiram. Oh my god. Yeah, we encounter quite a lot of really tough fusions in here, and we keep lowering and raising the water to make our way onto the final fight. Or at least I thought this cave in here would have the final fight in it, but no, this is actually where the base part of the base is, like the actual base, you know, with arrows and stuff. We get to fight yet another rocket grunt, but now we're on our own. And while this first fusion looks really cool and is probably a game reference that I don't get, the second one is actually a Deoxys Golem fusion, which is really problematic, seriously. I don't know how to deal with this. No one in my team is just mono grass type. They all are either fighting or poison type, so they're super vulnerable. I try to go for Jelly, who lives on 1 health. That is super clutch. And then I need to consider my options. Do I sacrifice someone here? Do I send out someone with high special defense? And I opt for the latter. I go to Blackberry, who has a lot of special defense. I go for a Dragon Breath. The Psychic does a lot of damage, but sadly it'll outspeed and kill Blackberry with the next attack. So what do? I actually sacrifice Blackberry here. Yeah, you might be wondering why, but I already have a Dragon Electric type, and I really, really need the better one of these two. Orange then comes out with a clean switch, and I get to bulldoze it. He also sends out an Amphiking, which we bulldoze, that's no issue whatsoever, but man, Blackberry was actually more useful than I gave him credit for. I'm sorry for calling you ugly. You beautiful, ugly swan. You did a lot. And this next Rocket Grunt isn't much better either.
He has a freaking N-Raid! That's another legendary fusion!
And while that one wasn't too bad, it was really annoying thanks to it roaring over and over, and I just couldn't get a clean hit on it. I managed to get a Moonblast with Salad, which did nothing but, well, at least it lowered its special attack, I suppose, but it kept using Roar, until it actually managed to get Orange out for a clean switch for a Bulldoze. We finally made it to the leader of this operation, who's called Giovanni, and he fights us with his own Pokemon. No more grunts, it's a 1v1. Erika already lost, so we have to step up here. And is that a Blastoise Oddish? That's adorable, but I'm pretty sure I can just Poison Jab this thing and it dies. Yeah, kinda. Even though we have Guts, we don't do nearly as much damage as I had hoped we would. We get through it, and now he sends out Kegware. Again. We have Guts. We should do a lot of damage, so I just go for a Hyper Fang, which does half, and it just slashes and kills us. I don't get it. Our attack stat was so high, but okay, apparently this thing's really tanky. But as you can see, even a Force Palm by Pepper barely does anything. It then swaps out to Feepede, and yeah, the rest of this fight is really easy. But man, I could have kept my Muk Eradicate alive. I'm just sad. I really liked that fusion. It looked cool. It had a really cool ability as well. You can see the disappointment on my face. And while I am disappointed, we do get the Silph Scope, and more importantly, we're rid of Erika, so we can grab a Pokemon from the sewers. That is a Duskull, and that's very cool. A tanky ghost type is a really good addition to our roster. The Duskull then told me about a rumor. If you ring the bell next to Pokemon Tower at 3:10 AM, a cave which houses a terrible monster will appear. That sounds like it has a good base stat total, so yeah, go check it out. The cave is densely filled with a thick fog, and next to a gravestone we find a lover's ball. Is this the resting place of a couple? No, all that's inside is a very fluffy pig. Randomization made this a lot less spooky all of a sudden, but hey, at least we get a cool fusion with our Duskull, right? On top of the Duskull fusion, we also get an evolution for Orange, which looks really, really cool. I love this. We also go back to Celadon City because I didn't get an encounter there, and yeah, the Pokemon that randomized our Cypher is a Nidorina. That is worse than you would think because we don't have a Moonstone, but at least we can go up here and to this route and grab ourselves an encounter, and this one is a Celebi, which we now have to fuse with the Nidorina. Are you kidding me? I mean, having a Celebi is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but Nidorina Celebi? Really? I guess I can build a Staller out of it. Welcome, Waldmeister. And regarding stalling, I think I've stalled for long enough. Let's go fight Erika. We've done so many things. And yeah, this is a Fairy-type gym, so Waldmeister's actually super clutch. I mean, I still wish we had, like, Raticate Muk to do this. And wait a second, that's a Dialga Eevee. How's that a Fairy-type? That makes no sense. Yeah, up until this point, I still have no idea how this happened, but okay, yeah, let's just fight this thing. I scatter some Toxic Spikes. It knows Earth Power, so we really can't stay longer than 2 Toxic Spikes here. I swap to Orange thinking it goes for a Ground-type move, but no, it goes for Power Gem, which does a lot of damage. But we have a trump card. We now have Earthquake, we are evolved, and Eevee has horrible stats. She then sends out something a lot less threatening, which is Blissey. Blissey with... I don't know, I'll just Earthquake, I guess. The poison does some damage, the Citrus Berry heals it, and I just go for a Baton Pass so that I can pass on the speed to Beans, who also knows Poison Jab, and you know what? Yeah, that does a lot of damage. Bliss P goes down in one hit. Togegon Z comes out, and yeah, you know what? Let's just keep poison jabbing. Oh, that worked? Okay, cool. Yeah, 4th batch get. Hell yeah. Okay, this is going decently well, I'd say. We then get our evolution for the Duskull fusion, and that looks a lot better. Pokemon Tower is now our next destination. I know we've been here twice sort of already, but we don't have an encounter yet. So let's capture this Seal. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we'll call you Vanilla. And also we fight the Marowak. Yeah, she's a ghost lady here with a trainer Pokemon. Oh, and she has a Clefplume. That's spooky. That looks really cool. I like that. We have thus rescued Mr. Fuji, and he gives us a flute. We used the flute on the sleeping Pokemon west of Celadon City, which turns out to be, yeah, another field Pokemon, so it's just another Snorlax. We've already caught a Pokemon on that route, so let's go to the next one, and we get an Arcanine. That's fantastic. We can fuse that with Seal. This trainer also had a Pokemon that just looked like Satan. Good lord. Now that we're done with Cycling Road and defeated Satan, we can capture ourselves a Rapidash. Neat. We're also grabbing ourselves a fusion by sealing the deal with the seal, and yeah, Mom said it's his turn on the Xbox. Jokes aside though, the fusion becomes really cool once we level it up. Look at how cute he looks, it's a literal water puppy. And now that we're in Fuchsia City, you know what that means, it's time for the Safari game! I actually really like this, but in Nuzlocke it's kinda troll. You can capture one Pokemon if you're lucky and it's a Natu, okay, sure. And oh, we actually managed to capture it, so that will be fused with Rapidash. Sure. More importantly, however, we grab the HM for Surf, then we fuse the two, and honestly, this looks a lot better than I had expected. That's actually pretty neat. And by evolving it, it actually looks really neat. Seriously, this is probably the coolest Natu fusion I've ever seen. And you know what's really funny? Our next gym is Ice-type themed, so we can actually use both of them. Yeah, I did not make any of that up, that is just how it happened. That is really useful. I would have much preferred fighting types, because a lot of ice types actually also know water type moves, and oh my god, it's Squidward as a god. But yeah, let's fight Koga and see if we can fire our way through this. Wildmeister starts, and we use some Toxic Spikes, because, you know, ice types are actually pretty neutral towards poison. We get swapped out towards Olive, and we use a Flamethrower, and that just kills the Jinang. Okay, cool. Licky Sion comes out. That thing looks hideous. Not to offend the sprite creator, Licky Tongue sprites are all kinda cursed. And then we get a Duraz, and that's exactly what I was talking about. This thing 100% knows Water-type moves, and we need to swap. I swapped to Beans, and yeah, it goes for an Ice-type move. What? Okay, we just swapped to Waldmeister hoping that he can outstall this thing, and yeah, of course he can. It's a legendary Pokemon, in part at least. And we have Recover and Poison Jab to thank for this victory, as well as Wait, he swapped. Oh, that's kind of a bother. Okay, Glass Slash looks freaking fantastic, and I think we can also just outstall this one. Yeah, it goes for Protect, that's good. Our poison damage just keeps hitting, and we just kill it. Okay, yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, cool. Then the Duraz comes out, we do another Poison Jab, and we win. Badge number 5. Get. Fantastic. But all of that is irrelevant, because my favorite Pokemon, seriously, I love Salad, I'm sorry, I have a favorite one, is evolving. You know what? Kinda into it. That's a cool Pokemon. And I sure hope it's not just a cool Pokemon, because we're about to enter Legendary Swamp. Why do I call it like that? Well, pretty much every single Pokemon in here is a legendary, it's kinda nuts. Or at least a pseudo-legendary, it's really insane. Seriously, look at this Pokemon breeder. She has one Pokemon, it's a Palkia fusion. Yeah, we quickly deal with it, sure, but that would not be the last one, let me tell you that. Our wild encounter is actually also legendary. We get ourselves a Registeel, and we actually managed to capture it thanks to Jelly paralyzing it and putting it to very low health, which is really damn neat. I call it foil, and a good idea brews inside my head, but I can't really realize that yet, so we'll have to wait a bit for it. We then find another trainer who has a jump leap. Okay, that's not too bad, and an Ekazam. Okay, that's not a legendary, but Alakazam and Aggron, that means this thing has huge defense and really solid special attack as well. Yeah, that kinda sucks, so we need to bring out Salad and just stall this thing to death. We then get met with a Slogan Z. That thing also has crazy good special attack, but thankfully Salad can deal with it thanks to Mega Draining. And since a lot of our movesets are pretty bad, I wanted to grab the TM that's on the left there. This clown has an Alakazam, which is just kind of funny. It's a Mankey Alakazam, haha. And then he has a Rayzard. Yeah, that's a Rayquaza Charizard fusion. Jesus, okay, that thing is trouble, seriously. I try and go for orange, but he goes super low thanks to a big slash. I try and swap to vanilla to reduce its attack, and that kind of works. But then we realize, oh my god, I have nothing to hit this thing with. It's dragon fire. Wait, no, is it dragon flying? That's always the problem with this. Yeah, this is dragon flying. Okay, cool. So we can just go for a discharge and that works. Fine. Finding out types for Pokemon at a glance is super important. We then get TM 119 Stomping Tantrum and fight a Rayalga. A fusion of Dialga and Rayquaza. I am actually filming this for a friend of mine who was calling me at the time because he did not believe me and he also plays a bit of Pokemon. And yeah, this thing's kind of insane, what the hell. Gladly it's only level 33. We then meet this Dragovion, once again, not a legendary, but definitely a pseudo-legendary fusion, and a really cool one, Fairy Dragon. Okay, let's try and go for an Ice Fang. It actually does good damage. Another Ice Fang finishes it. Okay, good. Ugh. I then realized something. I forgot something again. Yeah, I forgot to pick up Strength. Ugh, god damn it, this is the SN ticket all over again. But you know what? This is actually not as bad as it seems, because I can just go back and I wanted to grab a very certain encounter next anyway. You see, but with the rules that I set myself, I always say the next Pokemon that I get is the one I need to fuse with the previous one I got. And on the next route, south of Lavender, we can actually grab ourselves a Snorlax, so we can fuse that with Registeel to create a Steel normal type that is really, really powerful. On the route right next to it, we can also go fishing, and we fish up ourselves a Magneton? I mean, I already have Steel and Electric types, but sure, why not? Welcome to the Team Fork. And in order to fulfill a side quest so that I never need to bring a Strength user again, we have to clear this entire beach, which has a lot, and I mean a lot, of legendaries, pseudo-legendaries, and other insane Pokemon. We keep fighting these over and over and over. It's kind of nuts, seriously. Even this nurse right here has a Scizor Bellsprout, sure, but then she has a Zekrom. And this thing is trouble. It's super physically bulky and the only Ice-type attack that I have is Ice Fang. So I try and use Spirit to fight it. I go for a Will-O-Wisp thinking, okay, now its physical damage is halved, but yeah, now it knows Ancient Power and that kills Spirit. I never even really got to use you, buddy. I'm so sorry about this. I did not consider that this thing could have special attacks. I sent out Waldmeister and he just does the rest. Seriously, he didn't even really need to do anything. A Recover would have been enough. And yeah, we fight even more of these trainers and more Mews, more legendaries. Let's just skip past this. And yeah, we now need to move this right on, and moving it is really, really slow. Sorry, did I say right on? I meant right horn. We get ourselves the Dolly. We never need to use Strength again. Oh joy. And while Spirit dying is really sad, we do get something really cool here. We get a fusion of Registeel and Snorlax. Look at this guy, that's a behemoth. The stats are fantastic, the typing is pretty solid. This is a really cool Pokemon. But regarding really cool Pokemon, this guy wants to blockade our entrance into Saffron City, and he has a Raikou, which looks awesome, and a Medicue, which is also really, really dangerous and also looks pretty neat. I think it's kind of blocked by the Raikou. I try and use Vanilla and Foil here, but the problem is that this Raikou actually knows a lot of really good moves, so I try to go for a Rest. I do, but this thing goes for a Drill Run, one-shotting Vanilla. I did not expect that at all. I'm kind of flabbergasted, and I'm also really sorry I really never got to use Vanilla properly outside of Koga. Oh, that sucks. I really like both Vanilla and Spirit, and both of them dying so soon after one another really sucks, especially once we get into a Dragon-type encounter, because now we don't have any Ice-type moves left. Ugh. I then realized that I actually forgot one possible encounter down here on this route, and it's a Kabutops. We can now fuse this with Magneton, and you know what? I think that will be a really cool Pokemon. So we go ahead and fuse the two, they have a custom sprite, and yeah, that looks badass. I love that. Alright, I then go ahead and just grab some more items to prepare more for future battles and randomly run into this shiny Pokemon. This is a Houndslash, so an Aegis/Slash Houndoom fusion. That would be really useful to have on the team, and you know what? Let's go for Shiny Claws. Let's bank the last Pokemon that we got. This is now Knife, the shiny Houndslash, and after teaching it a few good moves via the move tutor, we bank our old friend Fork, which we just acquired, so he's not really an old friend, and we make a shiny replace box. We now enter Silphco, and you know what? Yeah, it's time to beat up Team Rocket. So enjoy this short montage of me fighting really, really cool Pokemon, and oh my god, wait a second, that's a Quagsire Flygon? Well, no, Vibrava. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's time. Orange is evolving into its final form. Oh, it's been so long. It looks really neat. I like that. Flyjask, yeah. It's the giant moth from Yu-Gi-Oh! Never mind, this is way cooler. After getting what is potentially one of the coolest Pokemon in the game, after one of the coolest Pokemon in the game, our rival really envies us at this point. Seriously, Certainty 4 does not like that we have these random cool Pokemon, and he wants to put us down. But I say no to that. I ran these dice myself. I threw every single one of them, and I deserve all of these team members. Okay, chill. Okay, let's baton pass to Salad. Oh, he Dragon-tailed. Okay, Orange is back out, so I just manually swapped to Salad at this point. He Dragon-tailed again to Waldmeister. Okay, sure, if you want to die a slow and agonizing death instead of a quick and mega drainy one, we can also arrange that. I'll just spread some Toxic Spikes while I'm at it. That's actually a really good idea. So, you know what? Let's go for a Recover. It slams. Why did you know Slam? That's like the worst move in Pokemon, seriously. And with the help of one more Poison Jab, we put down the Dragovion, and we are now fighting Darktress, Darkrai Fortress. That's kinda spooky, and it knows Feint Attack and kills Waldmeister in one hit, right? It's a Dark type. I always think Darkrai is a ghost. Ugh. I now just try and go for a knife kill. I don't know why I'm using Shadow Ball at this point. I still think it's a ghost, I guess. And then at that point, I'm like, okay, foul play. Wait, okay, no, it's definitely not a ghost. Whatever, just use Flamethrower. It's either a bug or a Steel type in part. He then sends out his Frost Punny, and this thing is crazy annoying, seriously. I will now speed up this footage, because this thing kept confusing my entire team. Thanks to the strong poison that Waldmeister left as his last gift, we actually managed to take it down without much issue by just pivoting smartly. And now comes out the Loucaton. Salad and Loucaton once again locked in epic battle. And yeah, as usual, this thing should just go down to Salad, right? Well, no, we're actually super close this time. This thing has become much stronger, and Salad still only knows Mega Drain. But you know what? Doesn't matter. Thanks to Waldmeister's gift, our rival is healing us, and now we need to fight Giovanni. Wait, what? Yeah, we immediately go from one fight to another. He actually helps us out here, and it's a 2v1. Well, a 2v2, I guess. And look at that Cleftina, that's literally Satan, good lord. We also have an Igglyinja, which is really annoying because I have no moves to attack that thing. I tried. And this fight is honestly kind of weird because, yeah, all I can really do at that point is kill the Cleftina. Giovanni keeps healing it, which is really annoying, but honestly, after a while, it should go down. Foil tries to use some, you know, like copycats, and that's kind of useless. Our rival's Pokemon goes down, doesn't really matter, we just need to get rid of that Typheon, otherwise it'll just use some big fire-type moves. It doesn't, it goes for Swift. What? Okay, yeah, it just keeps going for Swift for some reason. That's odd, because it's an AoE attack, I guess? Oh well. Foil doesn't take many damage, it's great. Leftovers carry, and he sends out his Flygon, which is kind of rough. This thing could be really strong, but the Darktress comes out, the Feint Attack one-shots that Shedinja Fusion, and we can now just kill the Flygon. We win against Giovanni. Fantastic. That was much easier than I thought. The man in here now gifts us a Dragonair, but you know what? I will not use this actively. I will fuse it with a Snorlax that I got earlier from the house itself, and we also are going to fuse both of them and want to trade them away. That way we have 5 more tries to get something more useful that is not part of the species class. That sounds pretty fun. And I think that's fair because, well, we couldn't really choose the Pokemon that we just got. This would have been a wasted encounter. And we get the Sandinferno. That's really neat. And you know what? I think it's been long enough. Let's go and fight our next gym trainer, and our next gym trainer is actually Sabrina. Yeah, she runs a fire-type gym. She kinda took the place of Blaine in that regard. And we have a giant moth that knows Earthquake, so you probably can expect how most of this fight goes. We press Earthquake a lot, we keep getting speed boosts, so we're crazy fast. The Smolpert could be a problem if it actually gets a turn. Swampert is kinda tanky after all, but no, it does not. This Chickanini then comes out, and an Earthquake is not enough to kill it. It hits us with a Body Slam, and now it paralyzes us. I'm now kind of afraid that I'm slower, even after all the speed boosts, so I just swap to Knife, and I throw down some Shadow Balls into King's Shield whenever it uses Solar Beam, and that makes this fight really easy. Which means we get another badge. Let's go. And thanks to the higher level cap, we can now evolve this Monkey Crocodile, and oh my god, that looks sick. We also have access to Johto now, which is pretty neat. We go into the underground and check out some NPCs, and he says he can give me a Mewtwo? Damn, okay, yeah, sure. I've never talked to this guy in my life before, so let's do it. He gives me his Meowth? What? Oh, I got scammed. That's what happened. Okay, yeah, let's search up that guy and let's beat him senseless. He gives us a Pokemon back after doing that, and we go to Cinnabar Island. But first, evolution. Turn into a better jelly. The smiley face, oh no. It looks so brain damaged. I actually prefer this one, yes. And a quick trek through Pokemon mentioned later, we successfully get to Blaine, who then walks back to his gym. But this reminds me, wait, I can get some more encounters by just going east. Yeah, there's more routes here, there's an island, and we get ourselves a Bayleaf. Okay, I'm just kidding. In this cave, we get ourselves a very good Pokemon, one that is very fast. It's Electrode. Yeah, okay, I'm just kidding. The Pokemon that we actually get is Necrozma. Yup. We get ourselves another legendary, and I have a Master Ball, ain't that grand? I then come across a Golbat on this other water route, and I remember, oh right, I can trade this. Yeah, how about we just trade this and see what happens? Alright, I didn't really get a Fuchsia City encounter, so that's fine, and it's a Gligar. Oh, we can fuse that with the Necrozma then. These are the last two Pokemon that we got after all. So we fused them and they look pretty whatever, but don't you worry because we can buy a Duskstone, and thanks to using that on Licorice, which is what I named this new creation, we have this Pokemon which looks absolutely sick. What a great sprite hero drawing, thank you. That was enough side questing for now. Time to take out Blaine, who is a Dark-type gym leader. I thought I could utilize the fact that Beans learned Steamroller, but honestly, this Abo is a flying type as well, and of course a legendary, because of course it is. So I just swap over to Knife, finish it off, and then he sends out this little cow crocodile. Sure, we take care of that really quickly as well. And then he sends out Abatar, which looks fantastic. Absol Tyranitar, what a freaking cool fusion. I swap to the ever-reliable Salad and just try to do my stalling thing. And honestly, that works really well, but we also get really low, so that was kind of sketchy. And he sends out Regiray. Yep. Darkrai Regigigas. This thing is an absolute unit. And yeah, it's really dangerous. If I let this thing live for too long and its ability runs out, we have a problem. I put it to sleep, I use some Moonblasts. Oh god, we're confused. But no, the Moonblast hits and it kills. Okay, good. We get another badge, but that one was really sketchy. That could have gone really poorly. And while we are going to be catching like a Venusaur and a Torchic in a second on a route in the water and on Mount Ember, none of that, and not even the fusion, really matters for a second here, because this game has a boss fight so difficult and so notorious that it kills runs immediately. Remember when Team Rocket was capturing 3 different Pokemon next to each other? Yeah, they were actually doing something there, and I was foreshadowing, of course I was. You're a smart viewer, you'll realize this immediately. And yeah, they actually caught Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno, and they're going to fuse all 3 into a singular entity. Sadly, said entity can attack 3 times per turn, 1 for each head of Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos. And the only real weakness this has is that they're all weak to rock types, or you can try and pick out one with a Pokemon that then resists the other 2. Otherwise, you will lose Pokemon here. And yeah, I tried to go for Orange here, and I tried to go for a Rock Slide, but I forgot something very important here. They actually gave these things a berry that reduces the rock damage that they take. So not even Moltres, who's quad weak to rock-type moves, dies here, and instead Orange gets one-shot by Articuno. Which is really unfortunate, but this is only spelling the beginning of this really tough boss battle. I then send out Licorice, hoping to get a really big power gem on the Moltres, and I in fact do. Yeah, it dies, and then the Ice Beam and Thunderbolt take it out immediately. I then send out Foil, hoping to just kill the Zapdos really quickly, but they keep setting up screens, attacking, and healing themselves. We also have Rest, so sure, together with our leftovers, we can probably win the Stallfest, but yeah, they have Roost, and we're running out of PP here, so this is a really long and grueling battle that we're just bound to lose eventually. I then swap out to Knife to just try and kill the Zapdos, but good lord, that Articuno does a lot of damage. I try and use Flamethrower on it, but it doesn't kill because of the Roost. Jelly then comes out, and a Discharge can kill the Articuno, and the Zapdos can probably be outdamaged by Jelly itself with some Dragon Pulses, but good lord, this fight is a massacre, and honestly at this point, man, we've lost 3 really good Pokemon. No, we've lost 3 really good friends, and while we have one, who cares, man? This was an absolute slaughter. Sure, we get to fight Moltres, but do you know what I say to that? I don't care, I caught a Torchic before, I'm not going to use the Pity Legendary. And so it came time to bury all of our fantastic friends, both old and new. And man, Orange hurts the most, not gonna lie, that was my favorite guy next to Salad. And before we can get our revenge on Giovanni the Bastard, we go ahead and capture ourselves some new Pokémon, and then go and fight him one last time. And of course, as I've alluded to before, he's a Dragon-type gym leader. Remember when I said we could really use Spirit right here? Whenever we get to a Dragon-type fighter, yeah, this is the point. Because Lemon, as powerful as he is with his moves, he can't take down Shelferig. The flamethrower was too much. So we send out Foil and I try and use some Ice Beams and Body Slams, but Foil is just not a special attacker, and the normal type attacks just don't do crazy amounts, so this is really risky. Flamethrowers could burn us, and that would pretty much be the end of this. Gladly, he then sends out Kangaskloos, nothing that is too crazy, and yeah, we can just use Rest in conjunction with Ice Beams, Body Slams, and Heavy Slams to defeat it. But man, this thing could have also been really dangerous if some Outrage crits. And now he sends out Azumalga, yeah, Azumarill Dialga. That thing is really tanky, it uses superpower and kills Foil. We've now lost one more really good guy. And now Salad needs to come and save the day, but I don't even know how. This thing is so tanky, but we actually get a lot of sleep turns, and I can bring in Jelly and then just kick this thing's ass with a Dragon Pulse. It is then time for his other ace Pokemon, which is Goodrygon. This thing is a mixture of two different pseudo-legendaries, so I go for a Dragon Pulse hoping to kill, and I don't. It goes for its own Dragon Pulse. And Jelly goes down, and now the only one of the old guard who's left is Salad. Okay, we need to win this. If we don't win this, then it's all over, seriously. If Salad can't kill this thing, we have a problem. But actually, I have an idea. I can just sleep it, swap to Peas, go for a Poison Jab. We get a badge, who cares? We've pretty much lost all of our core team at this point. But we've also acquired all 8 badges, which gives us a lot of options. And you know what? We haven't even utilized all of them even closely. So let's go to the fighting type gym and grab ourselves our own Hydreigon. Oh wow, okay, that's great. We need Hope. Hope now joins the team. We go over to Johto and explore some options, and we get a Meloetta? That's insane! We use another Master Ball that we picked up, throw it at it, fuse the two together, and now we have Hope again. Literally. Sadly, this form is way stronger and better for our team, so instead of the cool looking Pokemon that we had before, we now have this. We then capture ourselves a Solosis in some of the forests in Johto, and we also capture ourselves a Shinx in another route in Johto. We can't really go much further, but we can grab ourselves Jello, who's going to be vital for our final squad. Oh, it's our rival, be gone! And I was surprised to find out that the Victory Road in this game is not a Victory Road, but Victory Routes. Yeah, this is also the way to Johto, so we actually get to capture quite a few more Pokemon. We grab an Octillery. Okay, yeah, that's really useless, who cares? The next Pokemon we get is a Mime Jr., and this fusion would be pretty useless, let's be real, so let's just go to Tojo Falls and grab ourselves yet another encounter. I try fishing, but I only get a Dino, and that's kinda, well, useless. We already have one, and Species Clause says we can just grab another, and we do that and we get a Croconaw. You know what? Yeah, that's a good water type. I will not say no to a starter. It's not the best, but it's pretty decent. The game then brings us into this beautifully decorated hall, but do not be alarmed, this is just the entrance to Victory Road, which allows us one more encounter, and it's a Snubbull. Okay, yeah, my first impression makes you think that I think this thing is useless, but honestly, both of them are physical attackers, and this is a fairy type.
That's kind of cute, actually. I like that.
And after fully evolving both parts, we actually get this really accessorized badass. Seriously, look at the triangle shades. You know what? I'm about that life. I love it. After going through Victory Road and meeting some new Eldritch Horrors, seriously, awesome sprite work, we finally arrive at the final lap of our journey. This is it. This is the final team that I decided on. I think we got a pretty decent mix of bulk and options, and I also forgot to go over Blueberry, which is our newly acquired Water Fairy type. Seriously, choosing a team took me like an hour, but you know what? Past Malorek puts it best.
Okay, you know what? No, I'm done overthinking. Let's just do this. You're all random. I have no idea what type of moves you use. Let's do this.
As her dialog box said, she uses fighting types. Lorelei is a fighting type Elite Four member, and so we swap to Blueberry and try and go for a lot of play roughs. I quickly noticed that our damage is way too low though, so I go for some Dragon Dances. This gold champ can't really do a lot to damage us, so that's a great opportunity to bulk up. We grab ourselves 3 of them, and then I go for play rough. She actually full restored on the turn that I started attacking. Can these guys read inputs? No, well. This thing is a poison fighting type, so play rough goes through as well. And now comes out the Jigglytop. And this is a fairy fighting type? That kind of sucks. Okay, so I just go for an Ice Fang, and that only does half. Blueberry goes down, and I don't get it. Apparently, this fusion is just too tanky, I suppose. We then send out Beans and go for a Poison Jab, thinking, well, it's part fairy type, that will work. And yeah, it kind of does work. She then sends out Magnabuskin, which looks kind of cursed, not gonna lie. So I swap to Jello and hope that I can just use Psychic type attacks to take it down. And that works really, really well. Hit Monster comes out, and I can just go for Electric or Psychic type moves. I opt to go for Psychic, and it works. We've defeated Lorelei, but we already have a death. I would have really liked to have a Water Fairy type for later fights, but oh well. Bruno is next, and he is kinda tough. Usually he just uses fighting and rock type Pokemon that aren't really challenging, but of course he randomized into the best type in the game, which is Fairy. Oh, that's grand. This Drift Fairy is really annoying. It does a lot of damage, but a high roll Psychic kills it. He then sends out Cubone Jr., and I definitely need to swap away from Jello because of potential ground type moves. Anticipating said ground type move, I swap to Salad, and now I can just Mega Drain. It does hit me for a double edge, which does nothing, but it also knows Endeavor, and that's a problem because now we're super low on health and Mega Drain only gets us to about half. This Melorill comes out, and now I'm not quite sure what to do. I should probably swap because it knows fighting type moves, but I go for a Spore. Relic Song almost kills Salad, but now the Melorill has changed type. I then bulldoze it to give it less speed, and I swap to my own Meloetta, hoping that I can just use Crunch. That does nothing. I don't know why I thought that would be a good idea. Relic Song then puts it back into its other form and sleeps us, which is not great. I then just try and go for a Wake Up Slap, but it actually swaps to Auratough, which is not great. It hits us for a really effective Hurricane, which also confuses us, and I'm super glad to be asleep right now, because now I get to swap for free. Another Hurricane hits Bean super hard, but I just needed to hit this Poison Jab and kill, which it doesn't. And yeah, now we have lost Beans as well. Hope is super low, Salad is low, and Jello is low, so we need to swap to Peas, and Fire Punch needs to kill. It does. The Melorill comes out, and I think to myself, okay, I can probably just go for another Fire Punch, see how much that does. It doesn't do enough to kill, so I try a Synthesis because we really need to heal, and the Synthesis actually gets through. Peas gets a bit of health back from leftovers. It goes for a U-turn, and now our Leech Seed hits the Torch buff. That kinda sucks, because now we barely get ours back to full. Damn it. Okay, so we go back to the Melorill, and now I just try a Poison Jab, and that kills, and Bruno loses. I should have done that earlier. Yeah, I'm a bit of an idiot, but again, finding out what these types are is really tough, especially when they swap mid-battle. And now it's time for the Ground-type Master Agatha. You know, the famous Ground-type user, Agatha. Yeah, these randomized types are just really odd. I don't know, they always feel weird. We go for a Stealth Rock on the Talonable, and now we can just Mega Drain it to get our health back and keep sporing it, but sadly it also heals itself quite a lot, so we just swap to Jello, and now we can just discharge it for the kill. I instead went for a Psychic to preserve PP, I suppose, and the Crocodile comes out. I can't stay in here. If I stay in here, this thing's just going to crunch me to death, so I swap to Hope, thinking that is going for a Dark-type move, and instead went for Thrash, which is also fine, honestly. Yeah, okay, it gets confused, and it actually goes down. And now she sends out her own Steelix, and I think to myself, okay, it is time. This is the epic Steelix showdown. Okay, yeah, it's a lot less epic than it sounds. We just outstalled it. And then we get to Gaspard, which looks really menacing and really cool, but honestly, after thinking about it for a second, we can just use Grass-type moves here. This thing has to be a Ground-type at least, so Salad can once again carry the entire team, as per usual. She then sends out a Yawek, which, you know, is another Ground-type, so we can just use Bulldoze to lower this thing's speed and do some more damage. It does use Shadow Ball, so we just go for a Mega Drain for the kill, and we actually made it through Agatha without a single death. And that means there's only one more Elite Four member left, who is Lance, who is notoriously difficult because his Pokemon are all very high level and pretty powerful. He randomized into a Ghost-type trainer, and this Meow Mask right here is... Okay, I can't really hype this thing up. This thing's really weak, but I was just being super careful by spamming Spore on it, thinking that he would go for full restores. I predicted a full restore here, so I went for another Spore. I went for a Bulldoze for a speed down, and then just kinda outstalled and killed this thing. Next up is a Shedinja fusion, but it does not have Wonder Guards, so we can just Mega Drain it, and oh, it's a water type. Okay, that makes that very easy, okay. He then sends out Orikid, Oricorio, Ghost, and Elekid. Okay, sure, so we can just Bulldoze, right, since you're part Ghost type? Okay, we can. And then he sends out Map It? Okay, seriously, what is up? Lorelei was super hard, Bruno was decently difficult, Agatha was okay, and now this is really easy? Seriously, this is not a hard fight at all. I don't know what happened here. Randomizers be random, I tell ya. Lance does have one more chance because he has a Gas Zone, which is a really cool name for a Pokemon, and while it does have Levitate, we can just use Spore. Oh wait, we get flinched here? Huh. I mean, we still have our full team of Pokemon, so we can just swap to Hope, who then just tanks the Dark Pulse, and we go for 2 Shadow Claws and win. That's it. Lance is defeated. And I'd love to celebrate, but knowing that the champion usually has the craziest Pokemon, well, I can't.
Looking forward to seeing you, Melorando. My rival should be strong to keep me sharp. While working on the Pokedex, I looked all over for powerful Pokemon. Although that, I assembled teams that will beat any type, and now I'm the Pokemon League champion. Melorando, do you know what that means? I'll tell you. I am the most powerful trainer in the world.
And with these words uttered, our last exchange begins. It is us against Certainty 4. Is it certain that we lose? Is it certain that we win? We will find out right here, right now. This Rising actually knows Dark Pulse off to a really bad start, seriously. Hope can come in and barely do any damage with Shadow Claw. Alright, let's try a Teeter Dance to confuse it, that will help. We can then try a Crunch, that does nothing either. Alright, it's a poison type, ugh. So we can then just try and go for a Wake Up Slap, I suppose? Oh, okay, that works. Okay, good. We can just keep Wake Up Slapping it to death, that's good. Okay, this Rising goes down. We then meet a Tox Owl. That thing looks dangerous, I won't lie, but that's mostly because of the Toxapex and not because of the Noctowl part, I'll be real. Crunch gets a defense drop, it gets a confusion, and it goes down. Okay, this is going great. As long as he doesn't get any crazy legendary Pokemon. Oh god, okay. If we had ice types right about now, this would be really easy. It is quite affected by them, but now we really need to use our noggin. I confuse it, I swap to Jello. Oh my god, that Dragon Pulse did so much. I need to swap to Peas. We need Jello for later Pokemon for sure. And Peas doesn't take a Dragon Pulse much better. I should probably have not swapped, but okay, let's try and kill this thing with Peas with a Poison Jab. And it doesn't kill, it snaps out of its confusion, and Peas goes down. It's only been short, but trust me, Peas, it's been real. You will be remembered. Hope then comes out, and we really need Hope right about now. And not just like figuratively, but also like for real. Hope needs to clutch up. Crunch doesn't kill, but a second Crunch does. The Slash did almost nothing. And now we just need to hope that Hope can do it. We go for a Wake Up Slap, it does a third, and Hope dies. Is that it? Is this as far as we can go? Hope literally died. It's over. We lose.
No.
Wait, Salad?
That's right.
What are you doing? How can you talk? What?
Do not doubt yourself now. You have fought the rival dozens of times before. And we have won hundreds of battles by now.
You're right, but what do we do?
Trust in us. Trust in yourself. Together, we shall be victorious.
And you know what? Salad is absolutely right. We swap him in, we go for a Spore, Lucozone is being put to sleep, we go for the Mega Drain, getting our health back out of the critical zone. Another Mega Drain gets us to almost half now, so even if it crits, it doesn't do anything, but it goes for a Calm Mind and lives another Mega Drain. Oh no, if it gets like a critical special attack. Oh my god, we get to 27 and Salad lives! Out comes an Ambi-Kiss. Okay, I have no idea what types of moves this thing has, but we need to Spore it and then swap, right? Okay, we get the Spore, we hit a Mega Drain, and the thing doesn't wake up for a bit, so I need to predict when I can actually Spore again, and I call it right here. It goes for Last Resort, doesn't do anything. We swap to Jello. Jello gets the Intimidate, and now this Discharge needs to kill. If this doesn't kill, this fight is over. It goes for a Fling. It's faster? No! We live! Oh my god, we live. Okay, Discharge, please kill, please kill, please kill. Yes! The Discharge kills, but he has one more Pokemon. What is it? Xasola? Okay, this looks really goofy, but this could kill us. We're super low. We need to kill this thing within a singular attack. We go for a Discharge, it goes for Future Sight, so now we're on a timer. Discharge does a lot. It goes for me first. Discharge almost kills us. We go down to 15 HP. Discharge connects, and Xasola goes down. And we actually did it. Oh my god, how did I live that? I should have died so many times in that fight.
I should have died like 10 times there. Oh my god! How did I survive this? You forgot to treat your Pokemon with trust and love. Exactly, you only left 17 Pokemon to die, not 18 like this guy. Or like, I guess it's 22 now, actually. God. I'm amazed that I actually made this. This took so much time. I tried this run so many times before. This number lies. It says attempt 4. I tried like 10 hard mode attempts before this and then decided, okay, I'm doing normal mode. The level caps aren't working, stuff is wacky. I'm sticking to normal. Well, not modern, but randomized, whatever. But yeah. You know what? Wrong timing to talk about this, because we're going to celebrate this absolute League of Champions. Look at this. Half of these are really cool. And I mean, we did it. That's really neat. For all intents and purposes, this run for now is done. I know this game has a Johto section, and I know it's really cool. But, I mean, our team is basically only Salad and Jello now. This was hella fun, though, but I don't think I will do another Infinite Randomizer run again as the next run. This was very hard, actually. Randomizing is fun, but randomizing plus the fusion Pokemon just confuses the hell out of me. I'm too stupid for this. I've come to realize I'm just not knowledgeable enough about Pokemon for this. But you know what? This might be a bit of my cynicism speaking out of me because we only barely made it. This, all in all, this was incredibly fun. I love this game. I love Infinite Fusion. It's crazy cool. It's probably my favorite, like, fan thing of any game. What else is there to say? Thank you. Watch my other videos. YouTube will recommend you one right about there. It knows you better than I do. Peace out. I do more Nuzlocks. Bye.